Hello and welcome to Crossfire Faith and Gaming, the podcast, where we explore the intersection of spirituality and the digital world. From the quest of enlightenment in role-playing games to the moral dilemmas presented in modern first-person shooters, we delve into the ways in which video games can challenge and inspire our faith. So join us as we discuss the latest releases, talk to game developers and religious leaders, and as we examine the impact of gaming on our beliefs and values. Whether you're a devout gamer for many years or a new person simply curious about the connection between faith and gaming, this podcast is for you. So sit back, relax, and let's embark on this journey together. All right, so my name is Reverend David Petty. I am here with Crossfire Faith and Gaming, the podcast, and today our other co-host, Russ Dornish, is out, but we have Brian Swift, who's been kind of a regular guest with us on the podcast, and Brian is going to talk to us a little bit about what he's looking forward to. We're going to have a dialogue about the upcoming games, and I know that as we mention some of these games, we're going to miss one of your favorite games, so connect with us on Discord. You can find us at discord.crossfire podcast or crossfirecast. Sorry, discord.crossfirecast. Let me pause. Say that again.
One day we'll get it right.
You can find us online at discord.crossfirecast.com and many other social media platforms as either Church for Gamers or Crossfire Podcast. So, Brian, what are you looking forward to coming up in 2023?
2023 looks like another exciting year in games. I have particular tastes, I think, maybe a little bit unusual, but, for me, I'm a longtime Diablo player. I did skip Diablo 3, but, the first two I played a ton of. I love dungeon crawlers, and so I'm looking forward to Diablo 4, which is supposed to come out in 2023. I'm also looking forward to Starfield to see if it's really going to be kind of Skyrim in space. If they pull that off, I think that game is going to be really exciting. And so I'm really looking forward to that game as well. And also for me, Alan Wake 2. I didn't really play through Alan Wake so much as I ended up watching a Let's Play of that game and just really was intrigued by the storyline, the narrative. I thought that game was so close to being great and maybe just barely missed, right? I thought the way the combat worked kind of held it back, and so I'm hoping they're able to streamline that a little bit. But I'm really looking forward to see what they do, because I think the bones of a great game are waiting there for Alan Wake 2. How about you, David?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I just recently finished Star Wars, the game. I'm totally blanking on the name now. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, I think. Yeah, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. So I'm looking forward to Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Should be a great game. Just a good fun time. Not going to win Game of the Year probably, but it's not going to be on the bottom of people's playlist either. So that I'm looking forward to. I'm also looking forward to the upcoming Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which is just a good reminder that I need to go back and replay the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Never got finished with that game. It was a huge game and just, didn't have enough time. Also, for my whole family, I think we're looking forward to Hogwarts Legacy as a good fun time that, kids can play, adults can play, and we can talk to each other about how it's going. As you mentioned, Starfield. I remember when I was there in 2017 with when they announced Starfield. It was right next to, in the Bethesda booth, right next to Fallout 76, a game that I was very excited about and totally underwhelmed by when it came out. So I'm curious to see if Starfield is another big marketing hype followed up by not enough there, or perhaps Starfield can be one that, actually gets Bethesda back on the map. As, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is that one of their first new IPs in a long time, Starfield, for Bethesda?
I think so. Yeah, it's been a while, I think.
Yeah. I'm also looking forward to, graphically to see how the new Avatar game looks coming out on the new systems. Curious to see if James Cameron has any hand in that. I feel like games that are made by games that are made about movies, kind of like movies that are made about games, are often a hit or miss. You know, sometimes you've got really, really good ones, and then sometimes you've got games that just feel like, wow, they just reskinned some other game so that you have these characters in there. I could totally see Avatar being we took the mechanics of something like Horizon Forbidden West or Horizon Zero Dawn, and we made the people blue instead. I don't know, but we'll see how that is. And then, of course, in the Spider-Man series, I'm looking forward to the Spider-Man 2. Wolverine, I think, is also coming out in 2023, so that should be really exciting. Brian, I'm curious, in addition to games, what other media are you looking forward to that's coming out in 2023? Be it comic books or movies or TV series or anything else.
Yeah, for me, Mandalorian season 3, especially coming off of Andor, which I just was so great. And I don't necessarily expect, Mando season 3 to maybe live up to that, that level of greatness, because I really do think Andor is the best of the Star Wars series that have come out on Disney Plus so far. But I've loved the Mandalorian series so far, and I'm really looking forward to season 3, which I think comes out in like March or something like that. So, we won't have to wait too long this year, hopefully, to see it. And then the other one for me is the Mario movie, which I think could be great or could be not so great. I think there's a wide range of like how good that movie could be. It could be an absolute home run, or it could be a complete train wreck. And I'm curious to see, where it actually lands. But, I'm hoping for some great family entertainment. All my kids are into video games. And so anytime we have an event like this, it's an opportunity for us to share that together. So I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah, I think back on the Mario Brothers thing. As I said, especially movies based on games, games based on movies. My daughter and I were watching Wednesday earlier today, and I was talking to her about how much I liked, kind of that genre of television series. The kind of spy, not spy, like the mystery. What am I thinking? Like investigator kind of genre. And I was thinking about Veronica Mars as another really great kind of mystery series. And so I was trying to search for Mars to search for Veronica Mars, and it came up with Mario, and it came up with the Super Mario Bros. Movie. And my daughter was like, "What's that?" I was like, "Well, here, let's watch the trailer." And at the end of the trailer, she was like, "Wow, that looks terrible." And I said, "Yeah, hopefully the new Mario movie is better than that." I think it's got a great cast. You look at it's got Jack Black as Bowser. It's got Chris Pratt as Mario, which is a controversial, topic.
I will say that I'm very excited about Jack Black as Bowser. Just what I've seen from the trailers looks really great. I think he's just nailed an awesome tone with that character, so that should be fun.
Yeah, Keegan-Michael Key, is playing Toad, and I always get this wrong because I think Key and Peele, and then I think, oh, well, it's Jordan Peele, and I remember him because he's made a lot of movies lately, and then I forget Keegan-Michael Key. But yeah, Keegan-Michael Key playing Toad, and then there's some other big names in there as well that I think that should be an interesting litmus test, if you will, for where we're at in terms of game movie adaptations. And, can it live up to Detective Pikachu and the Sonic movies? Or is it going to be, great animation, great cast, and maybe forgets that plot exists? Kind of like, did you see Black Adam? I felt like Black Adam was like that. Black Adam was amazing special effects, and it was like you forgot that plot exists in a movie. So, highly recommend. Skip it. Probably not even worth a rental, as we used to say back in the videotape days. So, gosh, what other media? Obviously, I'm looking forward to The Last of Us, which is, as we're recording this on the 13th, we are 2 days away from The Last of Us TV show. Definitely not for children, but if the story in that is half as good as the video game, I will be pleased.
And it's been getting really good buzz too. So from what I've seen, it looks like we're in store for something good. Yeah. I know you and Russ are both super excited about that one.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see what they do with it. I've heard they're not going to do any story that's outside of the video game. So they're just telling the video game story. So hopefully that is, you know, a lot of people get upset when they make an adaptation. They're like, well, we're going to go off in, you know, left field over here and do something completely different. And everybody's like, well, that's not what the story was. So, what else? Dune Part 2. I thought the first Dune was excellent. That's coming up this year. The new Indiana Jones is coming out this year. Yet another Fast and the Furious movie. We're on 10 now. It's going to be kind of like The Land Before Time. You know, we're going to have like a dozen of those movies, and we'll see. We'll see how it is. Also, The Little Mermaid. I think it's going to be a great family fun feature.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be interesting to see how the aquatic special effects in that live up to the aquatic special effects from the Avatar movie. Maybe, maybe not. Also looks like they're remaking Wonka, coming out in 2023. Are they remake? Oh yeah, with Timothée Chalamet. So, you know, same actor who was in Dune is going to be playing Wonka. So it'll be interesting to see how his version compares with Johnny Depp's version, compares with Gene Wilder's version of the famed Candyman. And then, of course, Barbie is coming out this year with Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie. Who knows where that's going to go? Live action Barbie adaptation.
Right.
But
again, probably a wide range of possibilities with that one.
Oh, and apparently a new Haunted Mansion movie. One of those that Disney made and, you know, probably needs to remake so we forget about the old one.
Yeah, again, another movie. You mentioned the original Super Mario Brothers movie, where it's pretty hard to do worse, right? And I kind of feel like with the Haunted Mansion, we're probably in the same place.
Well, and look at this cast. Holy cow. So let me just read you this cast for Haunted Mansion. I had no idea they were putting this much firepower in this thing. So I'm not familiar with the director of Justin Simeon. Probably have to go look at what other works he's done. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know. But writers, we got a couple writers here, including Guillermo del Toro.
Oh.
So, you know, the fact he's attached to it should be interesting. But then let me read you the cast for Haunted Mansion, the Disney's Haunted Mansion coming out in 2023. We have Jamie Lee Curtis, Jared Leto, Winona Ryder, Owen Wilson, Danny DeVito, Lakeith Stanfield, Rosario Dawson, Dan Levy, Tiffany Haddish, Kurt Yu, who I'm not sure, Hassan Minaj, Dan Matucci, and then a bunch of other names that, you know, go off down the list that I quickly don't know people. But man, those top like 10 people, I'm like Winona Ryder, Jamie Lee Curtis, Jared Leto, Owen Wilson. Like, this is going to be, if nothing else, a well cast and well written movie. We'll see where they go with it.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Do we have any idea of the concept? That's a big cast, so it's
Well, and if it's coming out in 23, it's, you know, you would think we'd hear something. Yeah. Let's see here. Disney 2023.
I'm sure we
Haunted Mansion.
I'm sure we will.
It says upcoming American supernatural horror comedy film.
Which feels like the right tone.
Second theatrical film adaptation following the 2003 film. The premise, a single mom named Gabby and her 9-year-old son who are looking to start a new life move into a strangely affordable mansion in New Orleans, only to discover that the place is much more than they bargained for. Desperate for help, they contact a priest who in turn enlists the help of a widowed scientist turned failed paranormal expert. Sorry, that's all hyphenated. Had to read it twice. A French Quarter psychic, French Quarter psychic, and a crotchety historian to help exorcise the mansion. Not exercise like run, but exorcise. So Rosario Dawson is playing Gabby, the single mother. Lakeith Stanfield is Ben Mathias, the paranormal expert. Owen Wilson is the priest. That'll be interesting to see Owen Wilson as a priest. Tiffany Haddish is the psychic. Danny DeVito is the college history professor. Jared Leto is the Hatbox Ghost. So that'll be fun.
Good.
For those of you that know the Hatbox Ghost of Disney theme parks. Jamie Lee Curtis is Madame Leota. Chase Dillon is Travis, Gabby's son. And then also features Winona Ryder, Dan Levy, and Hassan Minaj. So, Minaj? Yeah, Hassan Minaj. So, yeah.
Almost like a twist on the Casper the Friendly Ghost movie from a little while back, early 2000s
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Well, and when they came out
I
with
mean,
the 2003 Haunted Mansion film, because when did Casper the Friendly Ghost come out? I remember everybody going like, well,
either
Casper
late
the Friendly
90s or
Ghost was way better than this. Like,
early
you could have just made a
2000s.
Casper movie and it would have been better. Let's see. Casper the Friendly Ghost. Oh, this is like everything that has to do with Casper. How about
Yeah,
Casper the
yeah.
Friendly Ghost movie, which was 1995, was
Oh,
the
okay.
Casper the Friendly Ghost movie starring Christina Ricci. So, all right. Well, now that we've gone down that long and winding road into
Wow.
New Orleans, let's jump back. What about, we're talking about the new year, right? We're talking about new movies. You know, there's kind of the new year concept of new year, new you. Uh, I personally am not a huge fan of resolutions. I know some people that make resolutions not to make resolutions just because, you know, what do you do if you say, my New Year's resolution is to, you know, run 10 miles a day? And on day 3, you're going, let's just kill that. So, what do you think about resolutions? And then I'm curious, after you tell me what you think about resolutions, what are any resolutions or, let's say, goals that you might have for 2023?
Yeah. Uh, I'm not a person who really sets New Year's resolutions. I do sometimes have, kind of vague goals, but I'm not going to set a hard and fast resolution. But I think, the turn of a new year is a good time to kind of reevaluate and think about, yeah, what kind of things would I like to accomplish in the next year? And so I do sometimes set kind of goals. And I do have some gaming goals, and I thought we would go. I think you have some too, and I think we can maybe go back and forth on this, and maybe I'll give one and you can give one until we run out. But the first one for me is to play more Dwarf Fortress. I've I've been kind of waiting on the Steam version of that game, this new graphical version. It finally came out this last year, but I haven't had time to really dig deep into that one. I've gone very far down the rabbit hole for Dwarf Fortress previously with earlier versions, so I'm really looking forward to doing that. And I think it's also an opportunity, maybe depending on time constraints, but I'd like to do some things around content with that and get some participation from maybe our Discord community, to get them to vote on certain things that maybe to have me try, maybe challenges to do and so forth. So I'm looking forward to playing more Dwarf Fortress in 2023. How about you, David?
I think that's an awesome goal. First off, let me just say that. Especially, I really like, I'm tempted to spend a day trying Dwarf Fortress, but I know that we've talked about before, it's probably not my jam given my reaction when I played Terraria on stream. So, maybe not for me. But along with that, I think more, you talked a little bit about maybe getting some interaction with the Discord and stream and stuff like that. I'd love to just be more consistent. This is a quick moment to all of you out there listening and watching. I want to apologize to you for my lack of consistency in the last 6 months or so. Things have just gotten a little inconsistent with life schedule, and where we tried to have a twice a week stream, sometimes it was down to once or 0 times a week. And then, where we tried to drop a podcast every other week, sometimes we had, like what happened with us this particular go round. This is the second time we're recording this podcast because the first time, the audio didn't work. So I'd like to just get more consistent with all things Crossfire, more consistent releasing streams, releasing podcasts. So that's one of my goals for 2023. What about you, Brian? What's your next goal?
Yeah, I think that's a laudable goal, David. For me, another one, finish some unfinished games. Notably for me, Pentiment. I feel like I'm closing in on the end of that, and I just need to cut out some time to myself to finish that game. It's been really awesome so far. I don't have any anticipation that that'll change by the end of the game. I'm really kind of looking forward to seeing how it plays out. And and I've just been enthralled with that world. I love how well researched that game is and how much it really puts you in the place that it, a place and time that it takes place. So yeah, for me, finishing Pentiment is definitely one of the top of the list. I have some other minor games that that I'm hoping to get further in, but that's the big one for sure. How
Very
about you?
nice. Yeah, with that, you mentioned just finishing some backlog. For me, there's a big backlog. We've talked before about the size of my backlog, which is, unfortunately, they keep releasing games. If we could just get everybody to pause, 2 years of just no more game releases. Just put a pause. It's kind of like the biblical concept of a jubilee year. Every 7 years, debts are forgiven, land is restored. This would be like every 7 years we have a gaming jubilee year where everybody gets caught up on their backlog. So I would love to finish Horizon Forbidden West. I played through all of Horizon Zero Dawn last year, loved it. Got into Horizon Forbidden West, and then like a billion other games came out after that. And I didn't even play Elden Ring. It's like almost everybody was like, "Ooh, Horizon Forbidden. Wait, Elden Ring. Look at Elden Ring." And then they played Elden Ring for 50 hours. So I've got Horizon Forbidden West. I've got Spider-Man Miles Morales, which I feel like I'm 80% of the way done with. So I just really need to carve out an afternoon to finish that. Been playing Cyberpunk quite a bit. And we've talked before about the reason I'm playing Cyberpunk is that for some reason, mentally, I have this block that I want to play God of War Ragnarok, but I'm like procrastinating on playing that game. I think because I don't have like 4 hours in a sitting to play through the game. And so, if I've got an hour, then I might play Rocket League or Cyberpunk or something like that. So I've been playing Cyberpunk, but I really need to get into God of War Ragnarok. And as mentioned before, probably need to go back and play Legend of Zelda as well. So, Brian, what about you? What else do you have on your list of goals?
Yeah, final goal for me this year uh, is just to play more online games with friends and family. Um, I feel like games are one of our best ways to connect with our loved ones who don't live close to us. At least for me, as a person who loves games and loves playing loves playing various games. I feel like it's kind of similar to like a tabletop experience where you can use the game as a means to connect. It gives you something to do while you're together. And I just, I miss that time. For instance, with my brother, we've both got now NBA 2K23 so that we can start playing that on Steam Remote Play. And that's been great so far. I really want to keep that up. And I want to use games as a way to connect with, loved ones this year.
I love that. I love the idea that, you mentioned using games to connect. And I feel like that's such a huge thing. Obviously everybody's gamer profile, we've talked about this in a previous podcast. Everybody's gamer profile is different in their gaming motivation. But I think for a lot of us, board games are one of those ways to connect, and also video games, right? I recently played through and finished It Takes Two with my daughter. We platinumed the game. It was very exciting for the two of us. So we're talking about, are there other games we could play through and spend time together doing the thing. So I'm with that. I think I'm going to try to make more time too for those type of game experiences. And with that, I would say probably more board games and even maybe explore a little bit into the world that I know exists, but I have not touched into it yet, which is the world of online board games. I know there's a lot of places now, far more than there ever were before, where you can go and play Ticket to Ride or, Carcassonne or what's the Code Names? One of my favorite games. You can play Code Names online. So if you just carve out the time, and I think that's the hardest piece, is making the goal to carve out the time and say, hey, Friday night at 7 p.m., we're going to get together and we're going to play for an hour, right? Even just 1 hour of we're going to play together. I think that'd be great. So my goal, carve out more time for board games. And I like what you said, more time for games that connect. So I think that's
Yeah.
all that we have on our lists for goals. Brian, did you have anything else you wanted to say for goals?
Yeah. I think it's also, just touching on what you mentioned there, I think it's also an opportunity for us to, to connect with our community as well. We do have fellowship time, but I think it would be nice to add some more community game times this year. Get some more Minecraft nights going and so on. So hopefully we'll be able to do that here in 2023 more often as well.
Yeah, I love that. So Brian, I'm curious, are there any upcoming, we talked about board games, we talked about games, we talked about media. Let's talk about church for a little bit. I mean, obviously it's, the normal, what are you looking forward to? Well, Easter and Christmas again in 2023 and, all the seasonal times in between. Are there any ministry opportunities, I would say, that you're looking forward to coming up in 2023?
Yeah, so you're throwing me a bit of a softball here, but I'm going to do my best to hit this out of the park. We do have our upcoming gaming summer camp, our Crossfire camp this year, scheduled for July 16th through the 21st. And I am over the moon. I'm super excited about that experience. It's going to be for kind of middle school and high school age kids. And we have a lot of great plans. We have more to do to finish setting up for it. But man, even just what we've got together so far, I'm really, really excited about.
And hopefully we'll have registration open for that summer camp pretty soon and more information coming out about it. So some opportunities to volunteer if you wanted to help out with the camp or, lend financial support, perhaps support a camper. We're probably looking in the like 300-ish price range, 300, 350 registration per camper. So, if you want to sponsor a camper, that'd be really easy. Or, send your kid or send some kids you might know. So, really looking forward to that. I've got to say, I'm looking forward to the church where I serve. We're turning 130, which is exciting. And I'm excited about talking with that church about what are the ways that we've done ministry for the past 130 years that have been awesome and successful, but also what are the ways that we're going to do ministry into the future, right? I mean, just the last couple of years, we have seen tremendous ministry opportunity, some uncomfortable, reaching out into the digital space and getting churches to stream and all that kind of stuff. But I'm really excited to talk with churches about what are the opportunities for ministry in the new future that we've never even dreamed of. What are those kind of things that we're going to find ways to reach people with God's love that we could never imagine before. I'm excited for that. So,
yeah, it's important to, we've got all these new tools. And I think it's important to look for ways to use those tools to connect. I think maybe that's been underutilized in a lot of cases by the church so far. And I am also excited for for the way that we can use that as outreach and a way to connect. Again, coming back to connection, a way to really connect with other people and help them feel loved and help them better understand the Word of God in a lot of cases.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing I normally don't do a benediction on this show, but I guess I'll give you the benediction I normally give my Sunday morning congregation, which is to really tell you, and I say this every week, but I got to tell you, I truly believe it. This is not just some words that I say that are nice, but I truly believe that if we are following the teachings of Christ, if we are living life as a people who love God, and we are going where God is leading us, then I believe that we will create in our wake a world that is transformed. And so I always tell people, and I'll tell you as you're listening to this podcast today, that as you go from this place, as you go from this podcast, that my hope for you and my hope for you in 2023 is that you would go forth and that you would change the world, knowing that you are loved by God, knowing that you are loved by Christ, that you would make a world transformed in God's image. So that's my blessing to you on our way out the door. And I hope that you join us again on our future podcasts. We thank you for listening and join us on our fellowship groups, join us on Discord, find us on social media, and support us on Patreon. Find us in all those ways, and we will connect with you as well. So God bless you. Have a great week. And we're excited for what 2023 has in store for all of us.